got money for them wars instead of feed the poor. They done sodomized the streets like they did Gomorrah. Got me praying to my God like there's no tomorrow. Shooting people in the back after they disarmed me. They was doing that since we was in the field farming. It was called murder, rape, kidnapping, and arson. Ku Klux Klan chase you all through the marshland. Now they got a police badge and beat you on your own land. If you didn't have a gun, they'll put one in your damn hand. Just another day in the life of a black man. Nothing's really changed, and I don't think it ever has.
As many as 3,000 children are in foster care in Alaska on any given day.
All right, we are back in effect, fools. Yeah, NaNTV. We sure are. Yeah, today's episode is going to be more on a serious note. So, as everybody know, I'm going through some things with Child Social Services here in Alaska. So this whole episode is dedicated to the atrocities that these people have done to families in Alaska and to the children. So I'd like to start this off with a little thing that I pulled up off a line so we can get started on this episode. Recent investigations, audits, and lawsuits have characterized Alaska's foster care system as among the worst in the nation, highlighting several systemic failures and atrocities reported by former foster youth and advocacy groups. First one, physical and sexual abuse. Studies and testimony indicate that 1/4 to 1/3 of family foster homes in Alaska may be involved in abuse. Former foster youth have testified to experiencing physical beatings with bungee cords or tree branches and sexual assault while in state custody, unnecessary psychiatric hospitalization. Foster children have been reportedly held in psychiatric facilities like North Star Behavioral Health System for weeks or even years, often because appropriate foster homes were unavailable rather than for clinical necessity. Okay. Chronic neglect and instability. Children frequently experience extreme placement instability, with some moving through more than 11 homes, or in a reported case of a sibling group, 40 placements with a single year. Some children had even been forced to sleep in the offices of Children's Social Services. Lack of basic necessities. A lawsuit filed by the Facing Foster Care in Alaska alleges the state fails to provide adequate food, clothing, and monetary support for older youth living in dorms or shelters, leaving some destitute during school breaks. Cultural loss for Alaska Native children. This one's highly important right here. There are significant failures in placing Alaska Native children in Native homes, leading to a devastating loss of connection to culture and community. Workforce shortages and lowered standards. OCS has faced a severe caseworker shortage, with some workers managing caseloads more than 3 times the national average. To fill roles, the state reportedly eliminated requirements for college degrees or prior experience with children. That's interesting. Well, I hate to say it, but I think the system's broken around here. They got a lawsuit coming against them for failure to do a bunch of this, you know. I ain't gonna, get too much into it, but my son had a pretty bad experience with social services, so when they took my kid away, they took him away from another home. Didn't even come to my home, by the way. Took him from another home, brought him to a foster care place, which my son's Alaska Native. So that means, they placed him in a non-native home, and he has special needs. So they placed him in a non-native home, and he has special needs. And what he told me was there's tape on the food cabinets. When he tried to go get some food, he was snapped at, yelled at. Hey, this is our food, and the only food that you are allowed to eat is what you will be given, which is, breakfast, lunch, dinner, pretty much right across the board. But she was saying that the food that's in those cabinets with the tape on it is for her kids and her. It's kind of interesting. You're hungry, you can't even eat nothing. But then they slept down in a basement on some cots, like those little bunk cots you can get, the little bouncy ones. Yeah, so he was sleeping down there. And when he had to take a shower, he wasn't provided any soap, which is kind of strange. Like, why would you want a kid to take a shower if you're not going to provide him with any soap? But here's the interesting thing. Her son administered the shower. So I don't know if he works for OCS, but why is he helping young boys go shower? That doesn't sound right to me. And he was in the shower, in the bathroom while my son was taking a shower, which is kind of strange, especially with these allegations of sexual abuse and all this going on. So yeah, then 16 days he endured being in child services because they didn't give him right away to my mom, who, by the way, is an Alaska native. So required by law, they're supposed to give it to closest relative. I don't know why it took 16 days. That's kind of a long time if you ask me. Maybe it's the workforce shortage. But yeah, so then we get back to, he gets out of there. And then, yeah, I've been dealing with these people for about a year. Jumped through every single hoop, did the 30-day UAs, did the parenting class, did the assessment. And guess what? Soon as you jump through one hoop, they got some more hoops for you to jump through. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm kind of like, I feel like my rights is being stepped on. I feel like this is just going on like as a big show. Now my YouTube channel is in question. I guess I'm a bad influence, huh? Maybe because I'm about making people aware of the situations that's going on. I mean, where was OCS and all them when them Epstein children were getting raped? I mean, to me, it's just like a mockery of justice. This whole country right now is a mockery of justice. You got pedophiles that are politicians getting away with murders.
Rauscher's Chief of Staff Craig Scott Valdez was arrested on 4 different federal charges, including sex trafficking, child sex trafficking charges. Court documents are describing an Anchorage incident in October where the FBI says Valdez used Snapchat to lure a juvenile to his Anchorage home to celebrate his birthday. The documents go on to say the minor's sibling alerted their mother, who used a family tracking app to locate the juvenile, heard the minor trying to leave, entered Valdez's home, and struck him to get the minor out. Now, when police arrived, the FBI says Valdez had fled. Senate Minority Leader Mike Cronk confirmed to me today that Valdez has been fired, calling the news shocking. The FBI says at least 11 other juveniles may have also been targeted by Valdez across Alaska. The 3 other charges in this case include production of child pornography, coercion and enticement of minors, and receipt of child pornography. You'll have to forgive me if I'm being a little bit quiet. Right behind me is the Senate Resources Committee, which Rauscher is a part of. However, he was not here today. They actually don't have quorum to conduct business. Rauscher being a part of that reason, they don't have quorum. We did also just get a reaction from the Alaska Republican Party as well, calling these charges horrifying, and that now Valdez does not have any affiliation with the young Anchorage Republican Party. Now we are learning more, and on our website right now we have an expanded coverage. Rebecca.
And then you want to question me about my lifestyle, or that I'm not a good dad, or I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not jumping through the hoops of the normal society wants you to follow their rules. It's either our way or no way. There is no other way. Well, there is another way. It's called go fuck yourself. Straight up. Until you can fix all your fucking problems, stay the fuck out of mine. Because here I am stepping up to the plate, doing what most dads don't do. That's why I wanted to bring this story to you guys about this Alaska child system here in Alaska, because it's corrupt all the way to the core, all the way to the core of it, all the way to the court system. Everything is in tune with each other. corrupt.
Physical abuse at the hands of Roland Allison Jr., a troubled, violent young adult. Roland, the youngest son of her foster parents, who were entrusted to keep her safe. He gets arrested, and you're in court. There's a court case.
Yeah.
You run into an OCS worker who tells you what?
So she told me that she told my adoptive mother that if she was to have us kids, that he was not to be around.
It was stunning information. It meant all along someone knew.
I felt really, really numb. Like, I looked at her and I'm just thinking to myself, like, what did she just say to me?
When childhood was supposed to be kind and loving, and adults were supposed to care for children like Tally and Kilo Stone.
What was that like?
Hell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Hell. That's how they described growing up as a foster care child in Alaska.
I feel like the system, while they are trying to listen and be proactive, they're also not doing what they need to do. And that's just, sometimes I give them too much grace, but they just need to do their jobs.
Through the chair, can you say that again? Did you say a benefit for society?
Talking dollars. Now you've got a $1.5 million price tag here for victims of fatal child abuse. It gets argued periodically that it's actually a cost savings because that child is not going to need any of those government services that they might otherwise be entitled to receive and need based on growing up in this type of environment.
Through the chair, Representative, I guess that would be the idea, if I can use a really bad analogy, when you hit somebody, always back up because it's cheaper to insurance. I don't pertain to that, and I'm really, I'm not even sure how to answer that there's a cost saving to the death of a child. The impact that has on a family and us as a society when a child is lost, especially to child abuse and neglect, is unmeasurable. And it's hugely tragic.
A former Bethel foster parent and daycare operator has been sentenced to 66 years in prison in a child sexual abuse case. Peter Toney was sentenced yesterday in Bethel on 3 child sexual abuse counts in which he pleaded guilty. He will have no possibility of parole. The 7-year-old Toney was accused of molesting a 12-year-old in 1998 and a 4-year-old in 2012. Toney and his late wife Marilyn were foster parents for 14 years.
Now, let me read this next one. This is about the lawsuit that they have against them right now. Actually, this was posted by Beacon. Last August, the Beacon published a story under the headline, "Is Alaska's Foster Care System Failing Children? A Federal Trial Underway Now Could Decide." Okay. My answer is yes. Alaska's foster care system is failing children horrendously, but the current lawsuit won't fix it. Last month, frustrated lawmakers bemoaned the failure of the Office of Children's Services to implement reforms. The failure to implement reform and the inevitable failure of the lawsuit have the same fundamental cause. Neither the lawsuit nor the reforms comes to grips with the problem of the root of all the others. State tearing apart families needlessly. That's me. Often when family poverty is confused with neglect. Alaska is among the worst offenders. The problem is compounded by racial bias, as can be seen by the astounding number of Alaska children torn from their homes, which he wasn't even taken from my home. He was taken from another home. Let's start with the lawsuit. The failure of this type of litigation becomes obvious as soon as one looks around the country. Nearly identical lawsuits have been brought against state agencies for 50 years now. Almost always the lawsuits drag on for years. There are small improvements in process, but little or no improvement in the lives of the children. In Tennessee, for example, the first such lawsuit brought in 2000 ultimately failed so badly that 25 years later, the same organization went back and brought another. Nearly identical, in some cases almost word for word, Michigan's leading family advocate says the settlement there is holding back real reform. Alaska lawmakers made the same mistake. That February hearing focused on solving the problem of high caseloads by hiring more workers. That never works. It is especially doomed to fail in Alaska, which tears apart families, mine, at the 5th highest rate in the country. A rate nearly triple the national average. Even when rates of child poverty are factored in, it's been that way in Alaska for decades. The only way to ease the caseworker shortage is to stop taking children needlessly. Yet when OCS Director Kim Gurray listed all the things her agency needs to do their job right, she listed only things that would make the system bigger. She never acknowledged Alaska's status as an extreme outlier in tearing apart families, mine, or suggested any need to curb it. The damage to children is enormous. Needless removal of children from families causes horrific emotional trauma from which some children may never recover. Remember the extinguished cries of the children separated at the Mexican border? Caseworkers may have different motivations than immigrations and custom enforcement personnel, but the end result of separation is the same. So it's no wonder multiple studies find that in typical cases, children left in their own homes typically fare better even than comparably maltreated children placed in foster care. It doesn't stop with emotional harm. After the study finds abuse in 1/4 to 1/3 of family foster homes, and the rate in group homes and institutions is even worse. A rush to remove risk-taking children from homes that are safe or could be made safe, only for them to be abused in foster care. Well, what you guys think? I think Alaska has a lot of room for fixing things, huh? What's also needed is high-quality defense counsel for families, not to get bad parents off, but to craft alternatives to the cookie-cutter service plans offered churned out by those overloaded caseworkers. This approach has been proven to reduce the number of children in foster care with no compromise of safety. Alaska's vulnerable children desperately need a better system. Litigation can help bring that about, but it's going to take a better lawsuit and a better response from lawmakers. So there's a lawsuit against the child services right now for them placing Native children in non-Native homes, which is a part of the act that was the Indian Act that was put forward, to where if they were to take a Native kid and place, they have to place it in a Native family or a close Native relative. Well, in my case, they placed him with a non-Native foster parent who likes to have her son give kids showers with no soap. So get in, that's kind of weird, you know. And then anyway, but they got this lawsuit going with them. What it's saying right here is that, yeah, they've done this this lawsuit has been done before and it never goes anywhere. And then 10 years down the road, they bring another lawsuit, you know, with the same problems, and it never gets fixed. So, yeah. And I know with the casework load that I've been dealing with over there with OCS is I went through 3 caseworkers already. 3rd one hasn't even notified me. So, yeah. 5 people quit over there, I heard, you know. Maybe it's got a high turnover rate, I guess, you know. Nobody wants to work in a shitty-ass job. I wonder why people are quitting this job. I think we should ask all the people that have quit the job, what was your problem with the job? Why did you quit the job? Probably be some interesting answers, you know what I mean? But yeah, so this NaNTV episode, we're going to focus on the atrocities of the child services in Alaska that failed to provide protecting children and bring forth needless cases and backlog our court system up, you know, and next thing you know, they'll be bringing Sylvester Stallone in because he blew up a car on a movie and cut somebody's throat and say he's a bad influence. You know, so yeah, let's go check out some videos that I put together. Be right back. Stay tuned. NaNTV.
I was adopted by a white missionary couple.
I was adopted.
Immediately placed for adoption.
I was in foster care with one family for 18 years. They were white.
My parents loved us, and I understand that, but at the same time,
they took the idea that they were saving me.
Saving us from ourselves.
Being saved, and I should be grateful for the life that I've been given, because any child on the reservation would give anything to live as I was living.
They took us away from our mom. They came marching right in and literally took us and thousands of other children from their home.
It's a way to eradicate us. And to go to a nation's children is one of the sure ways to do that.
Well, nobody enters into the foster care system by choice, but sometimes it's necessary. The pandemic, however, showed a sharp drop in the amount of licensed foster homes available.
We are down to approximately 20.
And numbers from the state's Office of Children's Services tell the same story. With approximately 1,200 total licensed foster homes in Alaska, about half are referred to as general foster homes, meaning they are not child-specific. According to OCS's director, Kim Gui, just over 2,700 children are currently in the foster care system.
So we're always recruiting foster homes. We always say, like, recruiting a foster home is everyone's business, because we need more people to meet the needs, right? We really aren't just looking for a home, we're looking for the right home.
Leaving both state and private entities hoping that more people will consider opening up their homes and their hearts.
Yes. What was your name again?
My name?
Yes.
Officer Gill.
What was your name?
Officer Blair. Officer Malatini. Officer Dodd.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Larry. Here's my son. We haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. Have you had anything to drink today?
No, sir.
Okay.
So did you talk to OCS today?
Yes.
What did they have to say?
They said that they had taken his sisters into custody, and I was asking for custody for his sisters.
Now, you have full custody of him, correct?
No, I have 50%. But I was informed by OCS today I'm not allowed to let him to go see his mother. That's what OCS has told me to do.
Okay. Okay.
He is with me. He is in custody of me, and his mother has a case. He is no longer allowed to go to his mother's.
Okay.
So.
If the Bravo unit. Okay. I think we can fix it. So I got a PBT. Yeah. You see the demeanor? So you said you haven't had anything to drink today?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you mind if we do a PBT on you?
Sure. Go ahead.
Obviously, this is just for the health and safety of your son. All right.
That's fine.
And
then as soon as it's done, you agree to leave?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then what are you expecting to get out of this?
I'm going to call OCS back. I'm going to talk to the woman that I believe talked to you and tell her that, hey, everything's good.
Thank you.
All right.
See those men, son? Say hi to them.
Hi.
You heard what they said? They're going to ask me to blow into a tube. And when they're happy with the numbers, I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
As you can see.
Are you on medication?
No, sir.
Are you on any kind of
No.
prescription illegal
No.
drugs?
No.
No?
No, sir. All right, now you guys, I'm done with questioning. As soon as with this PBT is done,
Well, no,
are we free to go?
Actually, you're not in charge, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, well, unless you're charging me, am I a free citizen of the United States of America?
Yes, you are.
Well, then I should be free to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're here to investigate because OCS called us.
Okay. I say now you're doing a PBT, man. Son, hold this and point this at us. Okay? Okay, I'll hold it and I'll point it. Wait. Let me look at your numbers. Flip everything around.
Just checking, sir. Okay. So, do you understand why we do
Let me see. Wait. Okay. You got that?
Okay, so you understand why we're doing this, sir?
Troubles?
We called
because of the way you are acting right now?
I'm not acting.
Well,
I've been.
gonna tell
You guys are 4 men coming to attack me and my son, and I haven't done anything wrong.
Let me explain
Okay.
what's going on.
Now, are you guys done?
Sir, no,
Are you done? Are you done?
We're not done.
I'm feeling threatened by 4 men coming to attack me
Do you understand
with
why
guns. There are 4 men with guns coming to attack me. I've done everything you've asked.
Yeah, so that concludes our episode of NaNTV today. I'm gonna be working on this song, you know what I'm saying, called OCS Don't Protect Nothing. Don't protect poop. Don't protect, shit. So yeah, look out for that coming soon. Yeah, I'm gonna use my platform now to destroy the powers that be and point out every corruption and every scandal and every lie that they tell us every day. And yeah, we're just gonna keep rocking. I'm gonna start calling out names, In my rap video, some names will be mentioned. You can come try to sue me, but I'm gonna use my freedom of speech to talk about you. Everybody over there at the OCS office, you all are on the hit list for your corruption and your hypocrisy and your mockery of justice that you portray to protect these children that are being sexually abused in your custody. It's kind of strange that you would pick a job, protecting children, but your office doesn't do much protecting. I always wonder why, a lot of people go to church, and I was like, that's where the worst sinners are, is the ones that go to church every day, because they got to go to church to get them off because they feel so bad about themselves. And I started wondering, what kind of people would take certain jobs? I believe that we need to do a complete oversight of the people that we're hiring over there at OCS. I believe you have some child predators, maybe some serial killers in your mix over there. I think it needs a whole federal review. And yeah, that's kind of dangerous that you got these weirdos that live in our country that pick these certain jobs and fly under the radar. And yeah, we don't even notice they're there. Like a foster care lady with her son helping bathe young boys doesn't sound right to me. So yeah, stay tuned for the new video coming. Fuck OCS or whatever I'm gonna call it. It'll be out here soon. We're working on the track right now. And yeah, stay tuned to NaNTV. We're gonna keep bringing you the realest stuff, man. Cause we got the new episode, my new show coming out, Nan Politically Correct. So we're gonna start talking about, the mockery of justice going on right now in this country. How everybody likes to point the finger at everybody else except internally pointing the finger at themselves, So yeah, stay tuned. NaNTV, baby.
Spread across some 1,300 licensed foster homes.
As Channel 2's investigative reporter Joe Burke reports tonight, the workload for frontline workers can be overwhelming.
Mike and Rebecca, understaffing, high caseloads, they all put a strain on a job that's already emotionally difficult. And while no one wants kids to fall through the cracks, you'll see tonight it does happen.
They got money for them wars instead of feed the poor. They done sodomized the streets like they did Gomorrah. Got me praying to my God like there's no tomorrow. Shooting people in the back after they disarmed me. They was doing that since we was in the field farming. It was called murder, rape, kidnapping, and arson. Ku Klux Klan chase you all through the marshland. Now they got a police badge and beat you on your own land. If you didn't have a gun, they'll put one in your damn hand. Just another day in the life of a black man. Nothing's really changing, I don't think it ever has.